So I did a few things off camera as I normally tend to. I guess I just show you real quick. I already did my hydrogen protocol, and this is to obviously improve my health. It's changed my life, obviously. But anyway, and I'm making more hydrogen water because I'm about to make a hydrogen smoothie. There's my device to actually clean my water, unlike most water filters that just they remove some things. And removing some things, at least in my personal opinion, is not going to be nearly good enough. Why? Because I'm so picky about getting everything that could potentially harm me out of my water, because it seems they were constantly, actually, you know what, I'm going to use both these. It seems that we're constantly having to prevent things that potentially make us sick. Maybe a lot of people don't because they don't know. They're not aware. But if you saw lab reports and you were to see what's actually in the water, believe me when I tell you, you'd want that stuff out of your water and you want clean water. Who doesn't want to be healthy? Well, anyway, so pretty simple. First, I created this smoothie, and it's worked so much better than I ever expected. And by the way, and then I even we can talk about children too, because I think it's really important, actually, not to get on a weird subject, by the way, but because it feels like there's so much confusion in the youth these days. And right now, by the way, I'm putting in this purine powder. Now, why the purine powder? We'll get into the other stuff in a second. This is important. Why am I using this? I don't even use a multivitamin, and yet somehow magically I'm getting all my nutrients. This is why. It's just because this is all food, and the body responds to food best. So that's why I've chosen to invent this smoothie that actually worked way better than I would have ever imagined for getting nutrients. And it's not just a multivitamin. We're talking about getting all your minerals, all your nutrients from food, the way that the body was intended to do it. So yes, making this morning smoothie is pretty simple. I don't think it's the most complicated thing in the world. And so here we go. This is what I'm going to show you guys this morning. And the truth is that I would do this anyway. I mean, this is just my morning routine. So yeah, some people say, hey, the video's kind of long, dude. And it's like, well, it wasn't intended to be short. There's no editing. See, that's the other thing. I don't actually know how to edit my videos. For those of you who do not know, or who do not know me very well, I'm terrible with computers, and almost lucky to even be on YouTube in the first place. Just because, that's the nice thing about YouTube. It makes it relatively simple. But I don't do any fancy camera work. And you know what I'm realizing? I need to do let's start with the greens. And so, yeah. So, anywho, I tell you what. Let me grab my apron, which I think some of my viewers actually make fun of. Like, you're wearing an apron. Yep. Because I need a place to wipe my hands and not stain my clothes, which, yeah, I don't have fancy clothes on. I'm actually wearing my pajamas. I just woke up a little while ago, drank my hydrogen water, and just wearing what I woke up with. I'll be changing a little later because I'm probably going to go for a hike, is my intention today. For me, everything starts with your health. I mean, because any direction you want to go in life. Like I knew somebody who wanted to have a baby. Well, if you want to have a baby and you want your baby to be healthy, which, who doesn't, right? You have to know how to treat yourself right. And of course, I think personally, I would have a very good idea. Again, by the way, remember, there is no medical advice given on this channel ever. And I'm also not making any medical claims. So with that being said, believe what you want to believe, right? But I will tell you my personal opinions. How's that? And I personally think that children are magical. And there's nothing more than, and it's not just children to me. I want to see children, but also adults. I want to see humans be happy and healthy. Because I personally believe that when people are happy, they tend to be good to each other more often than not. And when people are not happy, they tend to not be very good to other people. Now, I'm not going to say that's 100% of the time, but I think that's more often than not. It's hard to be good to others when, because, yeah, when you're not feeling so good yourself. And I like when people are kind to each other, and I like to see people be happy and not fight. And I'm going to guess, just a guess, that the majority of people feel that way. Why wouldn't you want to see other people be happy? But actually, maybe I'm wrong, right? This is kind of wild. I've actually known people who just always feel the need to have to be better than everybody else. And if that means other people's misery in order for them to feel better, that's what they kind of want. I don't think that they totally want people to be miserable, but I have seen that. So people are kind of funny that way. But me, and I think a lot of it, I don't know, I think a lot of things come naturally to us, even as kids. Like, I think that if kids were explained things a certain way, that they would realize, because a lot of it's about realizing, like a realizations or seeing the wisdom that healthy, I wouldn't say healthiness, it's healthy and happiness are important. And then the question begins to be is if we can just establish that, if we can just say, okay, look, being healthy and being happy, these things are important, then the real question begins to be, okay, what brings on health and happiness? And this is something, for me, it wasn't about health at first, because when I was younger, it was just about happiness. I was miserable and I wanted to be happy. But as I got older and, of course, became extremely sick, and boy, did that make me miserable. I thought I was miserable back then. Oh, man, it was absolute hell. Like, literally, like it felt like you were in hell. And so with that being said, then I had to embark on the journey of not only how to figure out how to get healthy, which is funny because my whole journey was always about happiness. And then the journey became to be about health. And one of those aspects is not really physical per se, as far as happiness is like, I feel like it's like a psychological feeling, right? Happiness is an emotion, feeling. And then being healthy is really more of a physical thing, right? I know they talk about mental health, that's different, but physical health is a whole different thing. And so I feel like in some strange ways I've come full circle as far as going down both these paths. And yeah, I would say pretty unique perspectives on it, mostly because of having a lot of personal experience. But going back to the whole thing about children, You know, the way that a child is raised and the information that they're given, whether it be at school or by friends, family, parents, whatever, all these things are going to influence the kids. But beyond all that, I mean, and all that's important, but the one thing that I feel like people just, they talk about it a little bit, actually, mostly because they see a major problem, which is that kids, like the obesity rates are out of control, diabetes is out of control, mental health is out of control. And I wonder if anybody actually thinks, could there possibly be a connection between their physical health or whatever it is going on with them physically and their emotional mental states? And by the way, there's all my greens with my nutrient powders. This is going to be the ultimate vitamin smoothie, hydrogen smoothie. Ed says, Master Chef, good points. It is good versus evils. Yes, I kind of agree. Cute baby. Yep, that is a little hydrogen baby, by the way. Mother's on hydrogen. I have a really great testimonial, and I don't remember if I posted it yet. I need to go back and watch my own videos. So those are raisins that are sun-dried raisins. Sun-dried raisins that were soaked in the cleanest water possible that had the best, cleanest, full saturation of hydrogen. So imagine that. Those are hydrogen raisins, my friends. Natural boron in there. Pretty awesome. We're going to put something that's good for your vascular system, anti-angiogenic, all sorts of phytonutrients. Basically, blueberries. Berries in general are extremely good for you, whether they're blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, goji berries. Berries are awesome. I'm putting a little extra today, which I shouldn't, not because they're bad for me. And by the way, these are organic. We want to minimize pesticide. What's the word I'm looking for? When you're exposed minimize the exposure to harmful chemicals. Why? Well, because I want to be healthy and I want to be happy. Isn't that too much to ask for? Yes, sir, that's too much to ask for. You need to go see your doctor. You need to have him put you on, I don't know what pill, but happiness pills. Yeah, he can put you on happiness pills. Now, they're a little addictive. They do destroy your brain, but they'll make you not feel anything. So therefore, you won't feel any sadness. That's weird. I don't think I like that. I think I like to feel things. I almost think that maybe the human body was intended to feel things like love and compassion, sometimes a whole range of different emotions. Well, no, sir, that's the whole point for going to the doctor. We're gonna we're gonna tell you what's right. You don't know what you feel. We're gonna tell you what you should feel. I'm just kidding. I don't know. You know, I feel like this world has gone so nutty. I don't know what to think about anymore. All I know is that I will continue my path. That's all I can tell you. I'm going to continue my path. I'm going to take extremely wonderful care of my blood. And I say my blood because, guys, I don't know if sometimes people understand how magical blood is. I mean, we're talking about something that flows through your veins like a river. And if it doesn't move, you die. Pretty interesting, huh? If the blood doesn't move, you die. So simple, but it could be in there. And if it doesn't move, if it just sits there, it's so different than if it's moving. What is the difference between it moving and not moving? And everything somehow that most likely goes in my mouth ends up in my blood, right? Like if I drink a beer, you can measure my blood alcohol level. If I eat a bunch of sugar, it goes into my blood. I get a blood glucose spike, right? Even if I stress out, so I'm not even actually eating anything. If I stress out and produce a bunch of stress hormones, all this magical stuff in this magical river flowing through my veins is taken to all the different tissues and parts of my body. So, knowing that, what do I want to put in my blood? That'd be a weird t-shirt. What's in your blood? Mine's full of fruits and vegetables and hydrogen water, super clean stuff. But what's running through everybody else's veins? Coca-Cola, Twinkies, Ho-Hos, cupcakes, donuts, cheeseburgers, seeded oils, fried food. I don't know. You know, pork, pig. It's funny actually. This is crazy. They tested. There was, and I'm always reading all these latest, as much data as I possibly can. And I'll tell you, when they tested a bunch of beef. I know I'm not trying to attack beef. It's just an interesting statistic because I'm not against beef. But the sad part is here they're testing beef all over the place, like different grocery stores, different places, and they all tested positive for one thing. Like they couldn't find one that wouldn't test positive for this one particular thing, and it's kind of gross. And basically, it's fecal matter. All of it has fecal matter. So does that mean that when I eat it, I got fecal matter running through my veins? Well, maybe. But to each his own, right? That's the other thing. If somebody wants to eat nothing but Twinkies and McDonald's cheeseburgers, do I get all upset? Not at all. It doesn't bother me one bit. Because why? Their life, their body. And that's why I'm willing to just walk my own path. Like I am just willing and wanting to just do my own thing. If somebody doesn't agree with me, do I get all weird about it? No. You do what you want to do and you will live with the choices you make. And me personally, I will live with the choices I make. And hopefully we make good choices. So hopefully we live good lives. That's the whole point, living a good life, a good and healthy life. And what has shocked me, but I have to accept it. This is something that I have to accept. And by the way, I'm putting some flax seeds in here, really good omegas and really good fiber. Have been found to be anti-cancerous. They did studies on breast cancer. And most of the ingredients in this smoothie are either anti-cancerous or anti-parasitic, which are two things that I'm really, really happy about, obviously. And so those are some of the things that I like to put in the smoothie because I know they're going to be good for me. Now, I have to run off camera here for a second because I have to grab a very special ingredient that I just realized I left in downstairs. So I got to go through a few flights of stairs and grab some of those. I might as well grab a little more celery while I'm at it and get back up there. and finish this breakfast smoothie, showing you guys how to make. And this may probably be the last video for quite a while, just so you guys know. And give me 1 second here. All right, guys. So, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I know we lost sound. Yeah, you were saying that you just got off medications and they make you feel nothing, and that's part of what they do. And as far as the washing the vegetables thing, it's just I think they call it a salad spinner. Just wash them, spin off the water, put it in the smoothie. Now we're going to go ahead and mix up some natto for you. Now, why natto? Natto has almost the same exact amount of protein as beef, but it has a lot of things that beef doesn't have. Let's see here. It's got fiber. Fiber is super important for moving toxins out of the body, keeping your GI system clean so it can stay healthy. It also has enzymes that actually help dissolve things like blood clots. But the enzyme called nattokinase or nattokinase also has a lot of other wonderful benefits, but this also thins out your blood a little bit, like a natural statin, which is also really good. You want your blood moving. That's something that's obviously important. Now, the hydrogen water moves the blood like crazy, which is kind of a surprise. A lot of people, including doctors, scientists, are kind of confused about why it moves it the way that it does. I actually think I know exactly why it does it, but that's a whole other conversation. What else does natto have? It's rich in vitamin K. That's something also that's really good for it. Has been shown to be anti-cancerous and oxygenate cancer cells. What else is it good for? I mean, it's just overall really, really good for you. It's actually one of the most healthiest superfoods, not only known to man, but in Japan, where they have a lot of superfoods. This is like some people attribute their long life to this, but I think it's a combination of things. I don't think it's just one thing. But yes, natto's awesome. And in order to activate it, you spin it like this. Notice that as I spin it, it's foaming up, it's coming to life. Scientific studies in Japan showed at least 100 times you want to spin it and or stir it. And if you can go beyond 100, that's fine. But at least 100 to really get it nice and activated, I think that's enough. Now, most Japanese would probably laugh at me putting it in a smoothie. They'd be like, "What are you doing?" That's like putting a cheeseburger in a smoothie. Like, what are you doing, dude? Why would you put natto in a smoothie? Well, most people don't like the flavor. Some people really do. I've become accustomed to it. But it gets harder and harder to, if you were to try to eat natto every day, which would be really good for you. But it's kind of hard to do that. So that's why I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it in the smoothie. And somebody was asking me, I guess I'll answer this question. Somebody was asking, saying, why is it that you don't put apples? And why is it you don't put, what was the other food they said? Apples and lemons. Lemons or limes. Have I ever put apples in my smoothie? Yes, I have. Have I ever put lemons or limes in my smoothie? Yes, I have. Why don't I do it? Well, apples, they don't bring a ton of flavor to this smoothie, and I'm going to put a little hydrogen water in now as I go. I like apples in there. I don't even have room, to be quite honest with you guys. If you notice, I put so much stuff in this, I just don't have room anymore to put, you know, certain things in it. And I put as much as I can. And yeah, apples would be fine though. you know, again, everything's about being able to source the things that you want or the things that are available to you. You want to probably go for the cleanest ingredients possible. And lemons or limes, though, that's a different one. I tried that one because I knew that they'd be good for me and maybe even for potentially preserving the smoothie. That's before I found the vacuum blender. And the thing about lemons or limes, go ahead and try it. It absolutely ruins the smoothie. At least for me, it does. The flavor is just completely ruined when you put a lemon or a lime in it. And of course, I learned these things throughout the years, just learning what goes in well, what doesn't. I mean, when I tried natto, I was like, this is not going to work. But you know what? I'm open-minded. I'll try different things. I tried natto, and I've tried a lot of other things in these smoothies. And it's taken a lot of years to get it to where it's at. I'm not going to say it's like perfect or anything, but I got to say, it definitely is doing the job. I mean, it's definitely helping a great deal. I think if all you did was make super clean water and made super clean hydrogen, followed a good clean hydrogen water protocol, gas inhalation, and made this smoothie just for breakfast. And that's it. And then the rest of the day you would just eat whatever you would normally do, which may not be good, but that's fine. If you were to just do the hydrogen clean water in these smoothies, I think just that would affect your life and transform it in a very, very positive way. Just that, you know, and then you can go back to eating cheeseburgers and Twinkies or whatever, you know, whatever it is that you like to do during the day, but at least you're doing something that could potentially be improving your health a great deal. Let's see here. And I forgot again. Okay. I just realized I'm out of raisins. I have some, though, somewhere. Let's see. I think they're downstairs. Yep. I'll have to grab those later. Later. So, okay, guys. If you have any questions too, this is a really good time to ask them because this is live. And I'm definitely not going to be answering any emails here for a little while. And by the way, I forgot to tell you, the walnuts also have fiber, also have been found to be extremely anti-cancerous. And you may wonder, why in the heck do you soak them in water? Well, because it's so important, actually, to hydrate your food because it's going to hydrate your GI system because then it makes it work better. When you consume too much dry food, it actually sucks the water out of you and will actually dehydrate you. And it can take off also some of the toxic stuff off of nuts and seeds, stuff that could potentially be toxic for us when you soak them in water also. So there's a lot of benefits to doing it. And I never thought about adding mini nuts to my smoothie, but it really transformed it. Creamier, more rich, you know, really feels very filling. So that's the whole reason that I did it right there. Let's see here. Now let's go with celery. I think we're running out of room here a little bit. Okay, let's see here. Good to see you back, Terry, says Northern Yeti. Ed says, natto in pill form. Okay, so here's the thing. Natto is a food. So that's like saying, can I get a cheeseburger in pill form? That's kind of what you just said there. So I'm not trying to make fun of you, but obviously that sounds a little ridiculous. Now, what I assume you're asking about is nattokinase, or what they also call nattokinase, which is an enzyme. This particular enzyme is found in only one food in the world, and that is natto. So I'm assuming you're talking about pills that have this particular enzyme. Could those potentially be good? Yes, I do think that they could potentially be good at doing certain things, but it's not consuming the whole food. And I tend to lean more towards the whole food. Why? Because, for example, with walnuts, they found walnuts to be anti-cancerous, right? So they did certain extracts, tried to do certain things in pill form, tried it on cancer, didn't work at all, which was really odd. Scientists didn't understand that one. But it turns out that it appears that there's something within the whole food and they just don't understand what it is. All they know is that it works. And that tends to be the data that I follow. I tend to follow data that oftentimes scientists just don't totally understand. but they can see the result. They can see that it's actually working on something. Hydrogen's a little like that. I mean, they have some ideas of some of the things that it does, but for the most part, they just see that it works. And so, hey, if it works, just because you don't understand it, doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. You know, if you don't understand it, that's fine. I don't understand what all these fruits and vegetables do. I bet you there's things they do to my body that no scientist knows or nobody knows. And you know what? I still eat them. Why? Well, it feels good. Feels good, feels clean, makes sense. I mean, doesn't it make sense? Weren't we always told the kids, you know, eat your fruits and vegetables, all this kind of stuff, right? So that's what we're trying to do here. Now, it's hard to consume all the vegetables and fruits that you technically need, which is exactly why we make the smoothie. But obviously doing it a little differently today. Today, we are doing the vacuum smoothie because this is really taking everything to another level. Now, one thing that food is deficient in, at least in my opinion, is not only nutrients, that's the reason I put the powder in there, but it's also deficient in minerals. So one of the things that I like to do, and this is also, I was doing this before I even found the research, but eventually, years later, I stumbled upon this research. I'm adding minerals that has no salt, just the minerals. They eliminate virtually all the salt out of those things. When you combine the minerals with the fibers of fruits and vegetables, somehow you actually absorb them way better. And people were finding that they rebuild bone. And so that was something that I found very interesting. And I was, well, look, I was already doing that. It's already adding the minerals to the fibers. And I think that's the best way to do it, even better than minerals in water, is to have them in your with your fruits and vegetables. Here is hydrogen chia seeds, guys. And we're going to add these two. More protein too, by the way. People always talking about protein. There's so much protein in the smoothie. It's darn right ridiculous. And chia seeds have even more protein, of course, but they also have fiber. Lots of it. And there's a lot of actually health benefits to chia seeds. And when you soak them in water, they get really like gelatiny and they really, really soak up everything that you, all that water. You want to bring water and fiber into your system. Those are the two magical things that I don't feel like anybody talks about enough as far as health people, or water either. They don't talk about water. Okay, so yes, not the pill form. No, it's an enzyme. Mary Claire says, how much of your smoothie do you drink in a day? My Vitamix yields two 24-ounce jars of smoothie. I drink one and keep one for the next day. I am supposed to drink it all in one day. Well, look, you don't have to drink it all in one day. I mean, if you just had one smoothie, like one 24-ounce smoothie a day, and you're making them the way that I'm making them, that is really, really good. And that's about what I drink. It depends, you know, it actually depends on how many people I'm making it for, because you know what? Personally, I would only make it just for myself because this is what I do for me. You know what the problem is? It's kind of a funny problem. I mean, it's not a problem, but you know, I'm happy to help people, but a lot of people who started trying the smoothie fell in love with it. And if I don't make it, they literally just won't eat it. And so I have people from all over the place. I got friends who come over and be like, hey, can I have some of that smoothie? I got people who, you know, again, call me and say, hey, you know, do you have any of that stuff put away? Like people, everybody wants to come over for smoothie, or people just want me to make it for them. And you know, it doesn't bother me, but obviously I don't have a ton of time in the day. But so I only make this one smoothie, which I end up having to share it, you know, so I've been having to consume less and less. Now, the interesting thing though is as my body gets more pure, as I clean more parasites and worms, and as I bring in the proper nutrients, and my body is all loaded up on nutrients. One of the reasons that I do it, I don't really talk about it really. Maybe I shouldn't actually. But there's a reason. Let's just put it that way. There's a reason that I guess if you guys are super interested, you can comment below, but it doesn't matter. The point is that I'm doing this for a specific reason. And my body's loading up on these nutrients. And by the way, these nutrients will get stored up in your body. So I'm loading up my body with these nutrients. And as that happens, my body seems to be, it's really wild, guys, because I've been doing this for years. My body's like getting more efficient. It's absorbing nutrients better. This vacuum blender is allowing me to drink even less smoothie because it keeps the nutrients higher. I was really impressed by that data about higher nutrients, higher antioxidant. Everything's better when you vacuum it because it doesn't get oxidized. That's actually the big thing. You don't necessarily want things to oxidize. Now in your body, it's a little different, but you know, if you don't oxidize the food, it ends up being healthier. And God knows we need that because the food is not really grown the way it should be grown. This food could be better. And this is all organic, the best stuff I can possibly find, but I still believe it can be way better than what we're doing here. And but I'm happy with what I get. I'm grateful for the farmers that grow these type of things. And if anybody can mention what I'm forgetting in this smoothie, I have a feeling I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting? And I know I'm running out of room here. And the funny thing is I'm pretty sure I put everything, but when I have that gut feeling that I'm missing something, then I usually am. I'm pretty sure I got everything in this thing. What else did I miss? Let's see. And I have room. I never have room. I could throw in a little more carrots. I'll tell you what, I'll put in, where are we at here? You know what? I could put a carrot or I could put a banana, but all the bananas are, this smoothie's gonna taste different today because the bananas I have are green. I could throw a relatively greenish banana, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna put in carrots. That's what I'm gonna put in. I'm gonna put carrots in, one more. And carrots, actually, I don't get it, but I'll tell you, I'm very happy about it. They're so cheap. I can get a whole bag, like 5 pound bag of organic carrots for, I don't know, like $5.99 or $6, whatever it is. It's cheap, and these are so high in antioxidants. And they have all sorts of amazing nutrients in them. But carrots are super good for you. And so the fact that I can get them this cheap. Now blueberries, that's a whole other thing. And there's other ingredients that I'd like to put in here that I don't, like turmeric. I mean, that stuff's just expensive, and I just can't afford to just constantly be putting that in my smoothie every day. So I do try to pick items that are more cost effective. Hence the whole apple thing. The apples that I would want to put in here are much more expensive than the bananas I put in there. So, you know, pick and choose. The most important stuff is actually the powder. The powder really has the majority of the nutrients that I'm really looking for. And then everything else I can throw in there is just bonus, really. But yeah, I try to pick things that are cost effective. Even the natto is cheaper than an apple. Can you believe that? One packet of natto and is way better, obviously. Okay, here we go. The water's right here. Let's vacuum blend this sucker. Now we can see what this thing can really do. Okay, now I don't have to wet the rubber seal, but I'm going to, just because, I don't know. The company suggested it. It doesn't matter. But here, I'm going to show you some really cool tricks, guys. Check this out. All right, here we go. This is the moment of truth. So I don't really have to push this on here real hard. Like, oh, I got to push it on there because it's going to suck itself on there. I don't know if you will see this. The water's up here, and you're going to see when I turn this on, power button, what level do I want to go to? Let's start with level 17, which is supposed to be about perfect. Now watch the water. Ready? Go. And I'm going to stop it. Look how it sucks itself down, and the water's going up. Up, 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 up. There, it's right there. Keep going, keep going. Oh, did I get it perfect? Oh, look at that. I actually could have fit more water in there. Look at that. That's too bad because I thought I had it perfect. Let's try a little bit more suction. Level 25. There's more bubbles. See the bubbles? It's sucking all the oxygen out. I don't know if you can see all these bubbles coming up, sucking everything out of there. More still. Look at that. Still more. More, I can see them over here. They're still sucking air out of this thing, guys. The water level's right here. Oh, yes. That's enough. I gotta stop that because it's a level 19. Now here's one of the things that I'm gonna try today. This is gonna be a new trick. Okay. And we'll go into why more vacuum blending if you guys want to know why, but this is epic. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna turn this off because I don't want it sucking while I'm blending. I don't want it sucking any smoothie up in there. Now I'm gonna blend it a little bit. And I just saw air bubbles. A lot of them. Still going. So see, this is what I'm gonna do. This is why I'm turning it on for a second. And then I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to turn this back on and see if I can suction some more. Let's see here. What level are we going here? Let's go that 25. Go. And it's sucking. I can hear it, but it's very quiet. Almost like it pretty much got everything out of there. Yeah, I think we're about good as we can get. The only thing I wish I would have done more is added, gosh, a little more water. I could take off the lid and add more water, should I? Nah, because the smoothie doesn't end up getting up there. Okay, let's just blend it. Ready? All right. It's interesting. I'm just gonna have to turn this up full blast. I didn't want to get smoothie on the lid, but that's what I'm gonna have to do because if I go too slow, it seems to be hard on the motor. There you go. All right. Now the shape, this is interesting actually. I'm noticing some interesting weirdness here. The shape of this blender is different, this thing. So let's try. There we go. I'll let it blend up while I dump the compost here, which, ooh, that is cool. It might be kind of big already. I'm also thinking about, this is so weird. Why does it do this? I can smell the blender getting hot, almost like it's burning a little bit. And I never had that problem. And I've been having it a few times lately. And I'm like, what's the difference? What am I doing so different? And all it does is overheat. I mean, eventually it's fine, but it's kind of odd. All right, let's see here. Let's see. How much of your smoothie? Okay, I answered that. Terry says, and by the way, I'm shaking up these nutrients we're going to put in here. There's a new study out talking about eggs apparently being good for you as long as they are not cooked in oil. It's even saying they're safe for people with heart disease. What's your opinion on that? I think all things in balance, but Terry, the one thing you have to look is who's conducting these studies, because I noticed that the egg industry, they always put out the ones that try to make them look good. I'm a little surprised them saying, see, some people are so extreme. They'll say eggs are not good for you at all, and other people say, oh, they're super good for you. You should eat nothing but eggs. I think life is all about balance. I eat eggs, but I only eat about, on average, I must eat around 6 a year, probably. Not a lot, because the body gets a wonderful boost when you don't take them in all the time, and so it's pretty awesome. Obviously, they have to be clean, and the way animals are being treated these days, and all the stuff they put in animals, it's one of the reasons that I don't want to consume them. I mean, there's studies showing that when you consume an animal that has had, I'll just, they had some needle go in them. I'm not going to say what was in there or whatever, but they also put a lot of, they put antibiotics and antiparasitics in animals, which you should. They have a lot of infections. They have a lot of bacterias. They have a lot of parasites. And you do these to keep them clean and safe. But throughout the years, it's developed superbugs, stuff that is resistant to antibiotics and stuff that is now being resistant to antiparasitics. And what that causes, and there's data on this, when you eat it within 2 hours, maybe three, but in about 2.5 hours, your body immediately is already more resistant to certain drugs that could potentially save your life. So let's get some hydrogen in here, and I'll answer more of your questions here in a second. There we go. We're going to get some hydrogen water in these jars to enhance our hydrogen smoothie, of course. And then we'll probably inhale some too on top of it. And here we go. This is all getting ready. We're putting more nutrients. Almost done. We're going to take this lid off here. But I just want to make sure this is nice and clean. I think it's well blended enough, but just in case. Okay. I don't think it's liking that, but I can hear that it's chopping stuff up. That's why it jumps around. It's hitting vegetables or something. All right, come on, stay in one place here. It's weird. If I go high speed, it stops jumping around, but it just kind of feels like, I don't know, it looks really smooth. Let's just one more and we're done. All right, we're good. Yeah, should be good. Okay, now the trick is how to get this lid off. Nobody can get this thing off. This thing is on here like you don't even know. You couldn't get Arnold Schwarzenegger get this thing off. So how do you do it? Well, I created my own little technique. Not that anybody else needs to do it, but there's a release valve here. I'll even put my ear next to it so you can hear the sound. You released all that air. But if I release it again, and if I just keep doing that, you keep hearing air. So I put a tissue underneath it. So that way it just always is coming out. Put my thumb on the handle, my middle finger on the edge of the lid, and look how easy that comes off. Whoop. Super easy, huh? All right, now I know this thing's gonna be all dirty and I don't like to waste anything. So here we go. I have to scrape the smoothie that's on the lid here. I don't think you're supposed to get smoothie on it, but hey, my smoothie's so big and messy. What am I gonna do? Just have to. Have to make it because if I couldn't do it, then I can't do it, and I'll just have to find another way to make my smoothies. But this is working for me, so I'm good with that. And then you can actually rinse it off. Isn't that crazy? It's waterproof, but you're not supposed to throw it in the dishwasher or anything apparently. But you can rinse it as long as it's not running. You don't want to be sucking water into the pumps. So it's kind of a tricky little system, just like the Hydrofix, a little tricky in some ways, but you know, it's so worth it because of what it uniquely does. These are very unique products that I'm so glad that people invented. So here we go. Now we're going to put some amazing nutrients in this. This is so thick, though, I got to say. It's thicker than what I would like, which is why I'm putting more hydrogen water in the smoothie. Because normally I used to add more water to the smoothie, but I just don't have the pitcher size. Just not enough. Plus the suction of, I could have added a little water. Did you notice I was a little off on that? Let's try it. Oh my gosh, that tastes so good. It tastes so fresh, guys. I can't tell you how fresh this stuff tastes. When you vacuum seal it, it doesn't just make it taste better. It is fresher. Let's put some nutrients in here, by the way. And retain all the nutrients and all this stuff and the antioxidants and whatever. But it also has less air in it because it's sucked it out of it. So it doesn't make you as bloated or gassy. So that's another thing that it does. Obviously, it's going to last longer when I vacuum seal it. There was something else too that it does. What is it? More than anything, I want the nutrients. I mean, that's really what I'm doing it for. Okay, ionic D3. Why D3? Guys, you're not going to get enough vitamin D from your food. You're just not. Sorry, not going to happen. And the food that does have vitamin D is so contaminated these days. And vitamin D is so important for your health. I mean, it's ridiculously important. And then this one doesn't have to go in it. Thanks for all the thumbs up, by the way. I'm noticing you guys giving those now, so thank you. All right, so I think I answered your thing about eggs. Who's the next person? Ed says thumbs up. Someone who has received the Jabberdew Bukodai, high quality C60 comes from olive oil, so I consume. To be honest, I hate to say it, I'm against C60. I've tried it. I've read the data on it. I do not like it. I don't like that they use chemicals to extract it. Oh my gosh, look at this mess. They use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they use certain solvents, and it's completely unnecessary. The data on it's really lousy too. They're like, oh, there's scientific data, and I looked at it, and the studies were, some of them are just, I already know they can't possibly be true. So I'm very, very skeptical, and I've tried it, and it did absolutely nothing for me. And it is a seed oil after all. Seed oils are typically not the best for you according to data, and they always make me feel kind of funny. So sorry, but I'm just not for it. If I was, I could promote it and probably make money off of it, but I don't and I won't because I only share with you guys what I actually use and what I think might be good. Can you freeze a smoothie? I probably wouldn't. Go to the banana. Yeah, I should have. is it sucking the hydrogen out with the oxygen? Yes, it is. But I put the hydrogen way earlier so it'd go into the fruits and vegetables, so it gets stuck in there. That's why I put the water in so early, the hydrogen water, so it soaks in the fruits and vegetables. And even if it did suck the hydrogen out, the point of this is not the hydrogen. I added the hydrogen water already later, and I'm going to inhale it. Solomon says, thanks for doing the hard work for us and make our life easy to make well-informed decisions. Have a good day, Mr. King Solomon. Thank you. Might lose a bit. Terry says, yeah, the eggs are not good for you, for the kidneys either. You have said, I think I will stay clear. And olive oil is not a good seed oil. It's from the fruit, not the pit. Yeah, I know that they say that. Let's see here. I needed to get something else. What am I missing here? Oh, yes. So I think I put the nutrients in there that I wanted to put in there. Everything else is already in the smoothie. And what I'm actually going to do, I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Somebody's asking about freezing these. You don't have to freeze them, my friend. I'll show you why. Because I can make these smoothies last a very long time. First, you vacuum blend it. That's going to make it last a long time. And then what I do is I can vacuum seal it. So for example, watch this. I don't know if you can see it from there. Let's see if you can. Here's my vacuum sealer. Put this thing on here, just like canning jars type of deal. And boom. And that is going to make that smoothie last for God knows how long. This thing's going to last for, I don't know, a week. But I like to have them within 1 or 2 days because I want them to be as healthy as possible. Because the older the food is, now there's new data in regards to endotoxins. The older the food is, much higher levels of endotoxins. Now, it depends on the food too. I mean, meat, much higher levels of endotoxins as it gets older, or even just buying it at the store because it's not super fresh. But especially fish. Fish is the worst. Apparently, canned tuna, canned salmon, the canned food, especially canned meats, are extremely high in endotoxins, and which are not good for you at all, by the way, guys. And so here we go, shake that up, and there you go. There's a smoothie. That thing's gonna last a while. Put that in the fridge. And let's finish what I got going on here, and I'll finally get able to sit down, and I'll answer any of your last questions because I'm gonna get going here soon. But you guys have me here right now, and I can answer a few questions while I inhale my hydrogen and get my other magic ingredient. I say magic ingredient because these ingredients are magical to the body. You know, you go to the doctor and they're like, hey, take this pill, take that pill. There is no pill, guys, that they have, in my personal opinion, this is not medical advice, that can do what this smoothie will do for your body. There's no way that they're going to get you all these nutrients from food, plant nutrients, minerals, fibers, antioxidants. I mean, and this ingredient is hemp hearts. Hemp hearts has some of the most well-balanced proteins of any food known to man. Omega-3s, omega-6s, and if you look at the nutrients in it, the ingredient is just hemp hearts. So you look at the nutrients in it, it's bonkers. I mean, we're talking, oh my gosh, so many different types of nutrients. It's almost a multivitamin itself. I mean, from the zincs, the coppers, the magnesiums, minerals, vitamins. I mean, it's just crazy. And so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a seat here, answer questions for a few minutes here, and then I will say goodbye and move along my day. Let me take out this air. And see what the smoothie tastes like. While I inhale hydrogen, of course, because this is going to enhance it even more. Okay. Your gut bacteria also produce endotoxins too if you've had bad microbes in there. Yeah, it's the whole reason that I feed my body things that actually feed good microbes. And hydrogen appears to do that too. That's why I do hydrogen. But the endotoxins you consume, they measured what happens in your blood. You get inflammation instantly. You constantly could be under constant inflammation when you eat, quote unquote, the wrong foods. Let's see, 6-CC is also an old growth charcoal. If one didn't want to buy the expensive oil and avoid the process of it. Yeah, it's just unnecessary. It doesn't do everything that hydrogen, the hydrogen does way more stuff. There's a reason it's medically approved. So much science, like I don't see the reason for having 660. There's no reason. And I gave it a really good trial. I tried it for a long time. The companies wanted me to promote it. And, you know, there's a lot of companies that have contacted me who offer me money to promote stuff. And I'm not rich or anything. And if I was just somebody who just cared about the money, I would take it and promote everything under the sun. But I only show you what I actually use and what I found to actually work. And things that make sense, like clean water, like the best hydrogen from Japan, obviously. Doesn't make sense to me to buy stuff from China, pills with chemicals reactions, machines that use chemicals like lye. I mean, this is just dumb, in my personal opinion, you know? And they have offered me a lot. But like I said, turn them down. This one's so fresh. And you know, I forgot. I only put one banana in here. Still tastes so good. Okay, any last questions? Because I'm gonna be saying goodbye soon. I don't think good health has to be that complicated or hard. Not to bring up a weird subject, but all these people are talking about what is a woman and all this crazy stuff. See you later, Northern Yeti. And there's all these shows about it. Obviously it's been all over the place on the internet. And I find it funny because I find it just like diet. I feel like it's not that complicated. It should be something that is very, very simple, in my personal opinion, you know, and yet everybody argues about it. But I just let the people do what they want to do, argue about what they want to argue about. I try to focus on important stuff in my life. That's just me, though. My own personal opinion. And I'm probably going to, like I said, I'm going to say goodbye here. So I don't see any questions. And I'm going to assume that you guys don't have any. So I'm going to let you go. I hope that the smoothie video was helpful. This is what I consume for breakfast. Lunch, sometimes I have a little left over. These days I probably don't. And then Terry's telling me, have a good day. You too. I'm definitely gonna have a good day. I'm gonna go drive out to the mountain. I'm gonna go in an area where there's no cell reception. And I found some potentially hidden hot springs. So I might be going to try to get some of those. So delicious. Do a long hike. I'm gonna put some hydrogen water in my hydrogen pouch to take that with me. Probably won't take any food. Once in a while I take a little jar with a bunch of different nuts like pistachios, macadamia nuts, walnuts, almonds. And then there's a special spot I found where I literally have to blow up a raft to go across a river to hike and find this special hot spring. I have video footage. I wasn't releasing. I don't know why my friends got hard on me about it. They're like, don't do it. We don't want anybody to know about this spot. I'm like, okay. I said, not that the footage would give it away, but whatever. It's so awesome though, because there's a river right next to the spring. And when I lay in the spring, I float and I'm looking straight up at the sky, the trees and the winds blowing, and it's so calm and peaceful in the river. It's such an amazing spot. And speaking of eggs, I'll probably do this in Japan. Terry, see, you can actually take an egg and take the steam from the hot springs. And you can actually boil your eggs with the hot spring steam. Oh, it makes them taste delicious, super, super good. May even enhance the nutritional, the health benefits of it potentially. In fact, let's see if there's any data on that, because in some ways it makes sense. But let's just see what it says. curious about this. Are there health benefits to boiling an egg in hot springs steam? Let's see here. Let's see. Well, see, this is interesting, guys. Check this out. So it is because of when you boil it in this way, there's iron and minerals, different types of minerals that can actually penetrate the eggshell to provide special nutrition. Japanese people consider long life eggs to be important for health, recovery after soaking in the hot mineral water, and believe that eating an egg can extend the life expectancy. Now see, I think that it's okay to eat eggs. I just think, again, within reason. The fact that I'll only have, on average, 7 a year, I will go without eggs for months and months and months and months and months. A situation will come up, like I got a friend who has his own chickens and his eggs are unbelievable. They're like, the shell is so thick and so hard, they're hard to even break. That's how crazy it is. Super healthy, the yolk and the colors. That's when I realized that the eggs at the store are nothing compared to like the kind of eggs that some of my friends have. And so if I get 2 or 3 of those and I'm like, hey, special day, it's been 3, 4, 5 months, I'll make a wonderful like omelet or something of that nature, Or I'll take 1 hard-boiled egg, I have a huge salad, little hard-boiled egg, my sauerkraut. I'll have nuts, I love pistachios inside my salad, create this concoction. And so it's not like I'm totally against them. What I don't think is good, based on data though, of putting too much of such things into your bloodstream every single day. And that's where I get more cautious. So, maybe I'll take an egg with me to the hot spring and I'll boil an egg there. Yum, not awesome? Oh yes. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm jealous now, says Terry. So awesome. Yeah, it's cool. Thinky Dink says, what you doing in Japan? Well, I could tell you, but I think it would be an extremely boring subject and nobody wants to hear about it. But I'm gonna go there for doing things like, for me. It's gonna be like me time, things that I personally wanna do, but it all has to do with health. I'm pursuing enhancing my protocols and I have to follow the waters, and they have water there that isn't like any in the world, so that's why I'm going. Terry C says, yes, I've seen that. So cool, hope you can do a video of that one day. Yeah, I could. Bet you enjoy that egg so much, and that's also true. If you don't eat it all the time, you enjoy them more. One time I went so crazy when I was really sick, and I was trying to be super crazy healthy, like next level. And after, I don't know how many years of doing that, I went and ate health junk food. It was junk food, but supposed to be semi-healthy. And I'm not kidding you, I cried when I ate it, because I'd been so hard on myself and restrictions and trying to be so good, And yeah, that's why I don't let myself go too long without certain things. In regards to food. Well, okay, guys. I think I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the thumbs up, which you guys gave, I guess. Thanks for your questions. And I hope more than anything, I hope that you found the video helpful. So, all right, guys. Till next time.